Let me tell you about someone you may not know, but probably should. Harold Feinstein was one of the greatest photographic voices of the 20th century. A true original. He believed photography was about saying yes to life, to beauty, to connection. And for nearly 70 years, he said yes every single day. Born in Coney Island in 1931 to Jewish immigrant parents, Harold often joked that he fell out of the womb onto the boardwalk with a Nathan's hot dog in his hand and the sound of the cyclone in his ears. That image alone tells you almost everything you need to know about the warmth and wonder that lived in his work and in his soul. At 15, he rented a Rolliflex from his neighbor for $5 a day. One of his first images, My Mother's Curtain, still stands the test of time. At 19, the Museum of Modern Art bought his prints, one of them being Two Boys on a Pier, making him the youngest photographer ever to be collected by MoMA. That same year, he joined the Historic Photo League and began a long mentorship with the legendary W. Eugene Smith, who called Harold one of the few photographers with the ability to reveal the familiar to me in a beautifully new, strong, and honest way. And that was Harold's gift. He didn't document life from a distance. His camera was always right there, in the mix. On the boardwalk, in the diner, among the crowds, his images feel like memories you didn't know you had. By the mid-1950s, Harold was being hailed as a master printer and a rising star. Just look at the New York Times clippings. He showed at the Whitney at MoMA. He lived in the legendary Jazz Loft in Manhattan, designed album covers for Blue Note Records, and ran in the same circles as Warhol, Coltrane, and Thelonious Monk. But just as he was breaking into the photography elite, he left. He moved to the countryside, raised a family, and began teaching. He later said, "I wasn't trying to walk away from fame, I just followed my life elsewhere and took the photography with me." He taught at the Annenberg School, the Maryland Art Institute, the Philadelphia Museum College of Art, and in his own living room. And to this day, his students, hundreds of them, say the same thing. Harold didn't just teach us how to take a photo, he taught us how to see, how to be. Harold said he didn't want good students. He wanted unique souls. And all that he wanted to do was to blow on the spark that's already there. And he kept shooting all the while. His photos from the Korean War, where he was drafted in 1952, show young men who look like they could have been back home sunning themselves on the Coney Island sand. His jazz-era photo montages were radical at the time. Long before Photoshop, he was cutting up negatives to make new images. And in the 1980s, he started a series called Metropolis, abstract street photographs of New York taken through a prismatic lens. New York Magazine called it Cubism Verite. The New York Times called it the Kaleidoscope City. Then in his 60s, Harold embraced the digital age. He pioneered a process now known as scanography, using a flatbed scanner to create stunning, high-resolution floral portraits. 100 Flowers, published in 2000, became a global sensation. Oprah featured his work on her magazines. Museums mounted solo shows, and his image Iceberg Rose was called the best-selling photographic image in the world. But for Harold, it was never about accolades. It was about love for the subject, the moment, the person, the love that made his Coney Island work so enduring, joyful, chaotic, deeply human. It made his flower portraits feel like quiet revelations. It made him a teacher that generations of photographers would never forget. He passed away in 2015 at age 84, just as a wave of new recognition was arriving. Solo exhibitions in Moscow, Los Angeles, Sao Paulo, and Boston, a BBC feature, a documentary in progress, and curators and collectors finally saying what many had known all along, that Harold Feinstein was one of the greats. As Howard Greenberg, the legendary gallerist, put it, his images appear to be made from within the photograph, not at a distance. They are alive. They let us in. So whether you're a photography lover or someone who just enjoys the poetry of everyday life, I invite you to spend time with Harold's work, because in every frame, you'll find what he found, that life is beautiful, that people are good, that if we just take the time to look, we'll see it. And that's remarkable. What a gift, what a legacy.